It's Big Board Sports with Roger Wyland on 104.5 The Team.
Well, what a busy college football weekend, huh? Just some tremendous games nationally, and we'll get into that in a little bit. Enjoyed every minute of it. And Friday night, it all got started with Zach and I in Buffalo, and this UAlbany football team knocking off an FBS opponent for the first time in the history. It was a historic win. The column on Sunday in the Times-Union with Pete Iozzizo, columnist and the sports editor for the Times-Union. Win proves UAlbany football is on right track. And Pete joins us here on Big Board Sports. Good morning, Pete.
Good morning, guys. How's it going?
We're doing well. Thank you. And, What was your thoughts when you first heard about the victory, and then what does it mean? I mean, what does this mean for the program at the stage they're currently at under Greg Cattuso in his third year and in that CAA conference?
I think it's something tangible that they can point to say, look, we are making progress. We can compete at this level, and we're building a program that's getting closer to being able to compete with some of the top teams in the CAA. I think I've always gotten the sense that within the athletic department and certainly within the football program, there was a confidence, even last year when they took a little bit of a step backwards, that this was going in the right direction. But for people on the outside, when they went 3-8 last year and some of the losses got ugly, I think it was only natural for people to look at it and say, geez, what's really going on over there? Was this really the right move for the school to bump up in the league like that? Now they got, spent a lot of money to build this big stadium. Is this ever really going to work? I think it was important for the program to be able to come out and prove to the community that it can work, that they are making progress. And, it was a historic win for their program, and it's a sign, I think, that they do have things going in the right direction.
Yeah, you wrote in your column, UAlbany's been trying to sell us on the idea that it can be a bigger, better brand of college football to this market, and I think a win like that should, and will it? We'll see, Pete, we'll see, but should a win like that help the first home game, and if they can string together a couple of more wins or one more win, be 2-0 going into a home opener on a Saturday night at 7:00. No reason, if this is actually getting a lot of play, and it is, that they'll put more fans in the seats for the home opener on September 17th. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, I don't know that. I don't know what the advanced ticket sales are like. I don't think if there were going to be 5,500 people there, now suddenly there's going to be 8,000. I don't think it gives you quite that much of a boost, but it certainly, you're right, it did get a lot of play over the weekend, and it helps build a little bit of a buzz as you go into the season. It certainly gets people talking about Albany football, and it raises their profile in the community. So I certainly think it would help a little bit. I know it's a great opportunity in front of them here to get off to a terrific start if they can go on the road and beat Rhode Island this week, which I'm sure is not going to be an easy game to have to turn around and go on the road for a second week in a row, coming off a historic win like that. Now to go play a team that you're expected to beat on the road, I'm sure that's not an easy position to be in. But, if they can get this one this week, they do have a chance to build a little momentum here early in the season, which is, great, not just for the football team, but for the community. If you're trying to capture the interest of the community, certainly that will go a long way towards doing it.
Pete, Zach By here, hanging out in studio with Roger. I got a question for you. Roger and I were having a little debate with someone at the hotel bar after the game, and I want to bounce this off of you. Do you think that if Albany ever gets to a point where they are competing for a CAA championship, which inherently would lead you to believe they're competing for a national championship with where that league stacks up, do you think they could ever have a legitimate foothold in the capital region where they are getting 8,500 home games week in and week out?
Yes, I think it can happen. I don't think that them competing for a CAA championship is the only piece of the puzzle there. I think it certainly helps if you've got a football team that's really good and can compete for a national championship, and people know that they're going to go see a good product. I think that's part of it. I don't think that's the only thing that goes into it, though. I think the other thing they need to do is sort of establish, and I know this is something that Mark Benson wants to do, is establish UAlbany football games as a major event in the city of Albany and in the capital region on Saturdays. I don't think they're there yet in terms of doing that because it's something that's so new to the market. We're just not used to having that kind of level of college football here. So they need to get people used to the idea that on a Saturday when UAlbany football has a home game, it's a big deal in this community. And certainly having a winning team helps you achieve that goal. But I think that's the other piece of it. I think besides just the winning, there's sort of I guess you'd call it a marketing angle to this too that they also have to accomplish. But I do think they can do it.
And I think this too. I will throw this out, and this is just an ongoing work in progress. Not only for football, but the basketball. We go through it year after year. Can you get the students to go to the games? There's a lot of students over at the University of Albany. Can you get them to the football games, to the tailgating, and enjoy the experience? I think, if they can build that a little bit and get the students engaged in the football program, I think that goes a long way to putting more fans in the seats.
So certainly, if you can get 1,000 students to come over there, that would really be a tremendous. First of all, it adds considerably to the atmosphere if you're going to be able to get that many students to come over there. But they still have a ways to go in terms of doing that. And I know it's been an effort over there for a long time to try to get the students more engaged. But I'm sure you remember it too, Roger, and you too, Zach. You were both there on the opening night of Bob Ford Field, and when we all walked in, it seemed like there were thousands of students there, and then at halftime they're all gone. And I remember hanging out in the student section for a little while during the first half and just, overhearing some of the conversations going on around me. Kids wondering, are we a Division III program? Are we a Division I program? It's just not part of the experience of going to school, or at least it wasn't at the time, was to make college football Saturdays a big part of your student life. But I think it could be part of it. It certainly has the potential to be now that they have the stadium, and if they were to start winning, I think that would certainly help too.
Pete, always a pleasure. Pete Iozzizo reacts to his column and we react to it as well every Monday. And since the Labor Day, a holiday weekend, we did not have a show yesterday. So Pete on Tuesday, back with us next Monday. His column, Win Proves UAlbany Football is on the right track. Thank you, Pete Iozzizo. Always a pleasure for a few minutes here on Big Board Sports.
Thanks, Pete.
Thanks, guys. Good to talk to you.
Thank you, Pete. You got it. Pete Iozzizo, columnist and sports editor of the Times-Union.